A grid is formed at Snetterton for our second Ginetta GT Academy race of the weekend, and the field headed by Charlie Digby, who led briefly yesterday, but ultimately had an off on the first lap that cost him a lot of time. He was able to regroup and buy back some places, but he'll be eager to try not to make an error here as the field is formed ready for our second of three 20-minute races of the weekend. There's a gap on the grid, like yesterday, sadly, where Sam Shrimpton's car is not to be found, but you do have James Nicholas there, number 99. Yesterday's race was won by Jamie Caudle, who led all the way, despite the attentions of James Nicholas, once they'd benefited, if you like, from the Digby drop. Charlie Digby falling down the order. And we'll see what Jamie Caudle can do here for four race wins already under his belt. After yesterday, championship leader is Jamie Caudle, and he has an advantage of 13 points over James Nicholas. Charlie Digby third in the championship. Alex Dayton, who is 8th on the grid, he is 4th in the title race. Louis Darling is to be found 5th in the championship. He's a long way back on the grid though, 11th, and 6th is Peter Thompson, who picked up damage early on yesterday. Not his fault, he was hit by a car that was out of control coming out of turn 4, so it all got a bit messy. The field then released, and this is for the final formation lap. Cars will make their way behind the pace car as it is, in grid order for a rolling start. Charlie Digby is the man on pole position, and starting with him at the front is yesterday's winner Jamie Caudle, third James Nicholas, and then a gap where Sam Shrimpton should have been. 5th on the grid, Joe Edge, and lining up alongside him is Shiv Sapra, who was a class winner yesterday. Next up, it's Peter Thompson, hoping for better fortunes. Alex Dayton on his outside, ahead of Alan Wright, who was the second of the rookies and the winner of the Chairman's Cup yesterday. Lucy Hodgson alongside before you get to Louis Darling and Damien Duffy. Lexi Belk next with Makesh Parekh to round out the grid. All of these drivers are relative newcomers to the sport. It's aimed as a sort of entry-level GT category, but the GTA class is for the more experienced, whereas you've then got the rookie class for the genuine novices who are new to racing this season, and it's to encourage more people through the Ginetta ranks. These cars are serious bits of kit though. They are Ford V6 engine, they've got 270 brake horsepower on tap, top speed of 140 miles an hour. They weigh in at 1,100 kilos and give very good racing indeed. So the field working its way then behind the pace car down towards the S's. This is Charlie Digby's view. Charlie, who was a Ginetta GT junior racer a few years ago. He was, I think, teammate to Tom Wood at the same time. We'd seen Tom Wood in the British GT Championship. They were certainly on the grid at around about the same period. And Charlie Digby, whose father Peter, of Extract Transmission fame, these days the chairman of the British Racing Drivers Club. Charlie had a few years away from racing to go off and do his university exams. He's now an accountant for one of the big four in London, come back to racing after his sabbatical, and was a race winner at the start of the season at Donington. He then took 2 wins that weekend, but actually since then life's got a bit tougher, and therefore has been eager to try to get back to winning ways, and it looked like he was going to do it from pole position yesterday, but it wasn't to be. He had a third at Silverstone, he had a second at Oulton Park, and then a third at Oulton Park, and then a third yesterday, if you like, the one that got away. So he was on that dusty line coming out onto the Bentley Straight. That was the undoing of him. We'll see what happens in this race, which is not far from getting underway as the cars then come now down into the left-hander of turn 12. Rolling start, so they don't stop on the grid. The pace car will bail for the pit lane, and then we should be in business, ready to go. Heading now up towards the timing line. So Charlie Digby sitting on pole position. The turquoise car of Jamie Caudle alongside. The lights in a moment will change. The race gets underway now, and a good getaway by Digby, but Caudle driving to brave it out on the outside line. To the inside line goes 99 James Nicholas. Also a good getaway by number 27 Alex Dayton from 8th on the grid, looking for any gap that he could find. They're side by side for the lead, and Caudle switching sides, look. So he goes from the outside to the inside up towards turn 2. Shiv Sapra in the red and black car on the inside for third, and just avoids contact with Digby, but Digby loses the lead. It's going to be Caudle ahead as they come out of Wilson for the first time. Down towards now the left-hander at turn 3 they go. So up front it is Jamie Caudle, and they're losing a little bit of pace possibly on the run down towards turn 3. Lexi Belk, but the GTA class car hopefully can pick up pace again as the two leaders are nose to tail, but they've also got away fractionally from Shiv Sapra, who runs in 3rd place as the cars then now sprint again up out of the left of Agostini. Speed building all the while here as they get up towards the left of Hamilton. Bit of a rattle over the curb as Charlie Digby tries to go after the race leader without losing any ground, without putting a wheel wrong as the cars sprint out of the right of Oggies up towards Williams. You can see the gap that the top two have pulled as Shiv Sapra already is rather busy defending. Doesn't feel perhaps he can go after the leaders, but he's absolutely determined not to lose another place. And what he also wants to do is to try and take another rookie class win. He was 4th yesterday and he's running at the moment in 3rd with the slower starting James Nicholas behind him. And this is James Nicholas's view look as they come down towards the series of corners at Brundle and Nelson into the S's. So they'll go through that left-right sequence. And as they do so, back onto the power comes James Nicholas. The top two still nose to tail up the road. And as they accelerate now in towards the fast right of Coram, it is Caudle ahead. Digby maybe just goes a little bit wider there. The rest of the field filing through, including number 13, which is the Joe Edge car. That was involved in the incident that did damage to Peter Thompson's car at the start of yesterday's race. So onto the power there goes James Nicholas, 99, heading up towards the line. He was the man that was the runner-up yesterday, so he's got a bit of work to do right now to try to claw himself back into contention. Leaders go by, and as they do so, it is Caudle ahead of Digby by 0.7 of a second. Now, yesterday's race was 10 laps. That's what we're aiming for again here as the leaders work their way into Wilson. If anything, it looks like Shiv Sapra and the chasing pack behind, there he is, are closing up onto the traffic ahead. So the gap coming down, 2nd to 3rd, that might just play into the hands of Jamie Caudle in 51, because if Digby has to start defending, Caudle's going to be able to drive away from the rest of them. Jamie Caudle had a really good, impressive drive yesterday, and potentially more to come in today's race as well as the cars dropped down towards Agostini again. So there is Jamie Caudle, the Newton Abbott mechanic, who is currently undertaking a motorsport engineering degree, as well as being a very rapid driver in Ginetta's. James Nicholas, in contrast, is a bit stuck behind Shiv Sapra right now, looking for a way by, can't find the gap as yet, as the cars again turn up towards the right-hander here of Oggies onto the power, head up towards Williams, and that loops you back onto Bentley Straight. A tentative look to the inside by James Nicholas, but that in danger of sending him a little bit wide maybe as they come onto the back straight now. So 8 is Shiv Sapra, behind him there the white car, number 99, in the hands of James Nicholas, the E3 Sport entry, Jim Edwards' team, and now Nicholas gets a tow and he's close enough to make a move. Sapra tries to defend, it might be a bit late though, because up the inside goes James Nicholas and he gets the car stopped for the corner, so he's gone by. Nice move, nice pass, and it's worked out well for him. So James Nicholas goes by, and that puts him now up into 3rd spot. So a little bit later than planned maybe. Now he can set off in pursuit of the race leaders and see what, if anything, he can do about them as the cars again turn their way once more out of Coram. They're coming down now into the turn 12 left-hander, and there is James Nicholas on the limit, sliding up over the curb. Further back you can see Peter Thompson, number 6 there, being chased by Alan Wright. Now they are 2nd and 3rd at the moment in the Chairman's Cup, which is in honour of Lawrence Tomlinson, the chairman of Ginetta, for the older drivers, to give them something to race for against these young guns that have come into Ginetta Racing of late. So the battle is on between Peter Thompson, very experienced these days, it feels like, in Ginetta terms. Alan Wright there behind him in the Ace Joinery car. Louis Darling is also on the move. He's going to place up into 9th spot. But there, Peter Thompson just ahead of Alan Wright. They go through together out of turn 2, and it is still there, as you can see, the white car just ahead. Up the road, Joe Edge, number 13, on the back of Alex Dayton. So largely they're starting to pair off now. But James Nicholas is 1.3 seconds behind Charlie Digby. Last time around, he had done a personal best lap, but wasn't any quicker, but he did have traffic to sort out. You can see the way that Nicholas has dropped Sapra, whose car twitches mid-corner. Sudden snap of oversteer, so he's got to correct that, and he's way out wide up over the curb. That's going to enable Alex Dayton and Joe Edge to get a little bit nearer as the cars now pound their way through the infield of the circuit. Charlie Digby, I think, is responding to the challenge coming from behind, because James Nicholas now is being dropped ever so slightly. Charlie Digby has done an absolute best within Sector 1. There's a driving standards flag being prepared for Lexi Belk, number 98, who is down anyway in 10th place as you watch 27 go by Alex Dayton. We're on lap 3 of 10 as Caudle arrives at the S's. Number 14 there behind, that's Charlie Digby. And the margin over James Nicholas was 1.3 seconds, but James Nicholas now turns up the wick and has done an absolute best middle sector, 4/10 quicker than Digby. So he's absolutely dead set on going after the second place car. Here is Dayton, still in turn keeping edge at bay as they turn their way through again. So out of Coram they go. This is the run down to Coram. Lots of tire squeal you can hear as the rather tortured Pirelli rubber struggles to respond. And the race leader, Jamie Caudle, coming up towards the line. Now, is he going to be able to build this gap if Digby has to think about defending from Nicholas? That's only 3 laps in the book, and the lead margin right now, 9/10 of a second. But James Nicholas in third has done the fastest lap of the race. So this is looking pretty good for him. Down through the gears goes Nicholas as they get to the Wilson hairpin. So confirmation of that fastest lap, 2:07.8. Yesterday it was a 2:06, but they only had the one race and it was later on in the day at the end of the afternoon. So differing temperatures. Through turn 3 goes James Nicholas. You can see how much energy is put into keeping the car in a straight line, as it were, because he's edging closer to Digby. And Caudle thinking, come on, get closer, start battling, because that'll take the pressure off. Down they come into the braking zone now for the 4th corner on the lap. Agostini, the Snetterton 300 lap with all of these extra corners in the infield. It was, as Jonathan Palmer, the circuit owner, must have felt a sort of waste of space when he could use it rather than just lots of grass to put lots more track in. So the Snetterton 300 was created, and it offers far more of a challenge to the lap. If anything, Caudle is being caught again by Digby, who is being caught by Nicholas. So the top 3 getting themselves together. Here they come out of the right-hander of Williams onto Bentley straight. So it's 51 Jamie Caudle in the lead, and James Nicholas edging ever closer in that 3rd place. To the braking zone for the S's. So number 51, Jamie Caudle, goes into the left, into the right. The one thing he can't do is get away. Charlie Digby here responding as best he can. Charlie Digby in the MDD Racing car. And then in 3rd place, James Nicholas, another of the E3 Sport entries. So teammate effectively to Jamie Caudle, although it's really every man for himself. Everyone pays to go racing, so certainly no team orders at play. And there is drama, because off the road is Louis Darling, and that is on the Bentley straight. Back onto the circuit he will go, but that looks like a moment coming out of Williams, thankfully with no damage, but we'll see whether that's cost places. It will have done, I fear, as Damien Duffy goes by. So down to 11th possibly for Dayton. So meanwhile, the race leaders have gone over the timing line, starting lap 5, and 1 second covers the top 3. You can see lots of grass has been scooped up at the front of Alex Dayton's MDD run car, as there are the 3 leaders. And actually it's another 3-way fight behind, where you've got Sapra and company behind. So Sapra, Dayton and Edge together. That moment for Louis Darling has dropped the car down to 11th place, and there are the 3 leaders going now out of the left-hander of turn 3. So what now can James Nicholas in 3rd place do? First of all about Digby, and then the race leader. Well, Digby is on the attack first up. Down to Agostini they come. That margin is right down between them, and there, with the temperatures going up, I fear Louis Darling heads to the pit lane. But it's more than just sweeping out grass. So has it cooked itself already, or was there something sinister that put him off the road in the first place? Either way, that car is out, at a 5-second penalty now going the way of Lexi Belk for track limit abuses. Race leaders work their way here onto Bentley straight once again. And as they do so, on this lap, it looks as though Jamie Caudle has just stretched the margin a bit over Charlie Digby. Then you've got James Nicholas in that 3rd place. But who is the better of them? Well, oddly, on this lap, the best of anybody in the 1st sector is Shiv Sapra, running in 4th and being able to, perhaps with a clear road ahead and not too much traffic to defend from now, get on with life and up the pace. He is still the leading rookie, is Shiv Sapra. Behind him now, it is Alex Dayton. And then you've got Joe Edge in 6th place. But Nicholas for 2nd, he's on the move. He wants that place and he wants to get it away from Charlie Digby as they come down now to turn 12. Thinks about a move on the inside, but there's no real way through there. What can he do in terms of sheer pace on the run up towards the timing line? The answer is not much yet, but he might get a toe. Caudle certainly getting away now. 9 minutes to go, 5 laps in the book as they come through. So Jamie Caudle goes over the timing line, still being chased by Charlie Digby. There in 3rd is James Nicholas. And as they accelerate their way up into Wilson, now it's game on for 2nd place. To the inside, then to the outside goes Nicholas. He wants to go wide in and tight out, but that would only put him on the wrong line for the next corner. So he's got to play this carefully. He needs the inside line at turn 3 because that's also the inside line at turn 4. Charlie Digby on the defensive, and look, all of a sudden how that gap widens. So pulling away up the road is Jamie Caudle, and Digby thinking this is the last thing I need. I can't think about the lead anymore. I've got to think about defending for that 2nd place. Down they come then into the braking zone. Nicholas not able to think about diving up the inside there, and if anything, under braking, they've all clawed back the lost ground against the race leader. So Jamie Caudle's sigh of relief was a relatively short one. Digby back up with him, and James Nicholas going after the pair. So still, it's 3 for the race lead. It was a 2nd between them. It's now 8 tenths covering 1st to 3rd, and as they battle their way up towards the exit now of Oggies in towards Williams, you're on board with Nicholas, and the 2 cars ahead, nose to tail again for the race lead. Jamie Caudle just ahead of Charlie Digby as again they sprint their way down that Bentley straight. This is Nicholas's view, heading into the braking zone. But the race leader, with his elbows out, Jamie Caudle making sure that car is wide enough not to enable Charlie Digby to find a way by, comes into the right-hander now of Bombhole and then onto Coram Curve. This is lap 6, we're anticipating 10, given how they ran yesterday. And Nicholas thinking, come on Digby, have a go, delay yourself. Wide at Coram goes Charlie Digby. Is that going to give an advantage for James Nicholas coming down towards turn 12? A slight one maybe. Up towards the timing line they come. So it is 4 times a race winner Jamie Caudle ahead of double race winner Charlie Digby, ahead of triple race winner James Nicholas. These 3 much the dominant drivers of the championship season, and you can see why, because they're so far up the road as they come over the timing line. So Caudle leading by ½ a second, and then it's just under ½ a second back to Nicholas. In other words, 1 second and a few thousandths cover the top 3. We've got 7 minutes to go. We're on lap 7 and up towards the hairpin at Wilson they come again. Bit of a lock up from Digby. Is that going to send him wide? No, he gets away with that, but it does lose him a length against Jamie Caudle in the race lead as now the cars sprint their way back down towards turn 3. Shiv Sapra in the background, number 8, still clear in the rookie contest. Joe Edge is the 2nd of the rookies. Alan Wright is the 3rd. And in 5th place, number 27, is Alex Dayton's car leading the Chairman's Cup from Peter Thompson, who is 7th overall and 8th overall, Alan Wright. Meanwhile, this is Digby's view. Rattles up the curb coming out of Hamilton's. This is Oggies, go right down through the gears. Can't apply the power too viciously because he's got a car right ahead of him and thought about a move to the inside line maybe, but it's not an easy place at which to overtake that. Now on to Bentley straight once again. So you've got a fast straight down towards the S's, which is an overtaking opportunity, but Charlie Digby not quite close enough, I don't think, and Caudle doesn't even have to weave around to try to break a toe. He's just got the advantage. Into the braking zone now, go left and then down another gear, go right. Maybe Digby's a fraction closer coming out the other side. Through that right of Coram they come, and you've still got 14, which is Charlie Digby in that 2nd place. If anything on this lap, James Nicholas looks like he's dropped back just a little bit. So 1 second cover the top 3 on the previous lap. This time as they come through, you can see how the gaps have opened up a little bit. So James Nicholas falling back from Digby to a 2nd in itself. Digby 8 tenths back from the race leader. So even though it looked quite close as they were heading towards Bentley Straight, by the end of the lap, the gaps have widened again. 4 3/4 minutes to go. We're on lap 8 of an expected 10. And a driving standards flag now goes the way of Joe Edge for, track limits. This is the Shiv Sapra Alex Dayton, Joe Edge line. Sapra at the head of it. Now he's the leading rookie. You've got the leading car out of the chairman's cut behind, that being Alex Dayton. That's the outright race leader, and the GTA class leader, of course, therefore, Jamie Caudle. And behind is Charlie Digby. Now that he's shaken off the attentions of James Nicholas, he's hunting down the race leader, who is trying to pull away by dint of doing the fastest lap of the race once again. Although now Dayton has just done an absolute best within sector 1. Coming up to traffic as well. Number 44 up the road there is Lucy Hodgson. Round the outside of the traffic will go Jamie Caudle. Charlie Digby getting the gap down again, but what's going on for James Nicholas? Because he just does not seem to be able to respond. So it's now very definitely 2 for the race lead. Nicholas was looking really good mid-race, but now fading fast, it seems, as Charlie Digby tries to turn up the wick once again and go after the race leader. Lucy Hodgson in 12th place. We did not have, by the way, Louis Darling rejoin after his grassy moment that brought him into the pit lane. So Digby on the back of Caudle, down now into the S's. Jamie Caudle still doing his level best to extend that margin. It's not looking easy so to do, but as long as he can make the car wide enough to hang on for a race win, a 5th of the year, he'll be happy with that. Fastest lap of the race last time around, the margin 0.8 of a second coming onto this lap. And now through that right-hander of Coram they come. It goes on and on and on and on, and just when you think you can get the car straight, you've got to brake, the car's all loaded up wrong, and you go left into turn 12. In the good old days, you'd come out of the Coram curve and Russell, which was the last corner, was just a quick flick. Then it became a bit more of a chicane, and then it was totally reprofiled to make what you have now. Over the line they go, and it is then up front, the car of Jamie Caudle, 0.8 of a second to the good, and that time around, the margin between second and third extended as well. You're looking there at Joe Edge, who used to run the 76 GT team, now decided that it's about time he went racing himself, so that's exactly what he does, and enjoying his racing, but he's 6th at the minute, second in the rookie class, the opposition being Shiv Sapra in the other black and red car further up the road. That novice cross on the rear of Joe Edge's car, showing that he's new to racing this year, not yet got the requisite number of signatures on his race licence to shed the novice cross. The same is true of Shiv Sapra, who was another second-generation racer. And for the race leader, 2 minutes to go, so there is time for one more lap at the end of this. Timing line beckons then at the end of lap number 9, ultimately, for the race leaders. The fastest lap today from Jamie Caudle, 2 minutes 7.5. Yesterday, Jamie Caudle, 2 minutes 6.9. So still a little slower in terms of outright race pace, but what he's after is the race win. Joe Edge making the run here in 6th place on to Bentley Straight, and now accelerating down towards the S's once again. There's the leader, and Jamie Caudle seems to have it all under control, doesn't he? Because anything that Charlie Digby tries, it's kind of repelled, knocked aside almost by the race leader. Digby closes, Caudle extends the margin. Digby closes, Caudle extends the margin. And on this lap, an absolute best of Digby in the first sector, and then in the second sector, Caudle stretches the margin again. So, not saying that Jamie Caudle is playing with Charlie Digby's pace, but he does seem to have the answer. So, keeping it all well under control, not overworking the tyres on a hot day, that's overstressing the machinery, not making mistakes either. He will come through now with a lap to go, 44 seconds and counting on the clock, 40 on the clock as he goes over the line. So the leading car, Jamie Caudle, 0.9 of a second up the road. Charlie Digby there in second place. James Nicholas just can't bring back that lost second. And weird as to where it went to. More track limit warnings are coming. One of them, though, is for the race leader. So if he does anything else on this last lap, it's going to be really costly for him. A lock-up by Caudle as well. So Jamie Caudle locking up at turn 2. He's wide up the curb, coming off Wilson hairpin. Needs to be careful not to be doing more things like that as they run now into turn 3, that quick left, and then that short straight down to Agostini. I say straight, there's a little bit of an arc to it, but largely it's pretty much a straight line as the cars now accelerate towards turn 4. Last lap then of the second of 3 races for the Ginetta GT Academy. That's James Nicholas going through, but he just can't bring that gap down to Digby. And equally, Charlie Digby frustrated that he's missing those final few tenths to really have a go at Jamie Caudle. Best he can do now is try and put pressure on him to make him do more track limit offences, and he can sort of pick up the win by default, as it were. Nicholas really deep there into Oggies. That's going to compromise the run up towards Williams and then to the Bentley straight. Here he is out of the right-hander now, back onto the power, and makes that run along Bentley straight, as now we have Lexi Belk picking up another penalty. Now it's 10 seconds worth of track limit penalties to add to the 5 of earlier on. Here, though, is the leader, and it's half a lap to go for the dominant Jamie Caudle. This is going to be win number 5, barring any dramas for track limits. Remember, the driving standards flag has been shown, but in terms of pure pace and racecraft, it's been good, this, for Jamie Caudle, and for the E3 Sport team, for Jim Edwards' team, it looks like honours abound. Digby second, Nicholas third, Sapra fourth, Dayton fifth, Edge sixth, as the cars now peel their way out of Cora down towards turn 12, end of the lap, and it is going to be Jamie Caudle's second win of the weekend here at Snetterton and a 5th of the Ginetta GT Academy season. The checkered flag is at the ready, and it's going to fall for the number 51 for Jamie Caudle, who will make it 2 out of 2 in the Ginetta GT Academy at Snetterton. Second across the line is Charlie Digby, and James Nicholas through for 3rd place, but possibly a bit frustrated with that, given the way that the pace just seemed to ebb away after, what, 2/3 or so of the race. He was right up with them and then had no way to respond. In the rookie class, it is a win for Shiv Sapra, second for him of the weekend, and the Chairman's Cup in this race going the way of Alex Dayton. So the same top 3 as yesterday, but in a slightly jumbled order. No doubt about the winner, though. He's done it again. So Jamie Caudle comes through victorious, and that is going to be good news for him to stretch the championship advantage as well. The cars then will make their way on this in-lap back towards the pit lane, then on to presentations. As you see there, more class winners. Shiv Sapra in the black and red car, victorious in the rookie category, and the Chairman's Cup winner being 27 there in the background of Alex Dayton. So Shiv Sapra, in the end, nearly 6 seconds back, not being able to go after really the top 3, but doing what he had to do, which was to take that rookie category win. So Shiv Sapra pretty happy about life. Drivers hand out of the window, partly to wave to the marshals and to the crowd, but also to get a bit of cool air deflected into the car. It's, even in a 20-minute race, very hot inside these cars. It has clouded over in the last hour or so, so the temperatures actually have dropped a fraction, but it's still a really hot and humid day at Snetterton. And the drivers then will make their way to the pit lane. Let's look at the results then of the second Ginetta GT Academy race of the weekend. Jamie Caudle, the winner, from Charlie Digby in that second place. Third going the way of James Nicholas, although a mysterious loss of pace midway through. Fourth going the way of Shiv Sapra, ahead of Alex Dayton. Then Joe Edge, clear of Peter Thompson and Alan Wright. Lexi Belk, 9th across the line, and Damien Duffy rounding out the top 10. 2 out of 2 then for Jamie Caudle as he takes honours in our second race of the weekend at Snetterton. From pole position, Charlie Digby was the man that accelerated clear on the run down towards the first corner. To the outside line, though, went a quick starting Jamie Caudle, and they battled their way out of turn 1. Caudle switching sides, clipping the dirt on the inside, and by the time they came out of turn 2, he was ahead. Charlie Digby straight away having to go defensive against Shiv Sapra, but it wasn't long before James Nicholas was on the move and starting to work his way up from 4th. He qualified 3rd, so it was a bad start in his terms. He got past Shiv Sapra and was soon able to get onto the back of the leading group. Having done so, though, he seemed to struggle. Maybe it was running in the dirty air, maybe he'd asked too much of the tyres, but he was unable really to build on that, as through for win number 2 of the weekend came Jamie Caudle. Every time Charlie Digby got close, Caudle was able to just extend the advantage, and he's very much the man to beat as we have one more race to come in Ginetta GT Academy at 5 to 5 here at Snetterton this afternoon.